What's up, fam? So I'm going to go back to a quick way that I used to do videos just because I have to address something that's very important for you. Not just for you, but for me, the world, and the entire universe as it continues to unfold before our eyes. Man, be grateful. Right now, let's take a moment together to be grateful for everything that we've got, every cell in our body, every heartbeat that pumps blood through our veins, every synapse of the mind that takes place, every breath that you can breathe into your lungs and out into the rest of the world, literally tying you and the outer atmosphere together without any discrepancy. Let's be grateful. Take another moment to be grateful for the fact that you can see. Be grateful for the fact that you can see. Let's be grateful for the fact that you can hear my voice, or read the captions, or see my face, or smell wherever you're smelling, whatever you're smelling. Right now, these rosemary plants, I think those are rosemary. These rosemary plants are very strong. I'm almost certain that's exactly it. Or it's thyme. It's one of the two, rosemary or thyme. They both look very close. I've got beautiful lemon trees behind me. Man, life is beautiful. So now that we've taken a moment to really center ourselves, that's one way of centering yourself, okay? But here's something I want to make abundantly clear for everybody. We, as humans, forget to notice or acknowledge our accomplishments, small or big. We hardly remember how we used to act when we start acting better. You ever have that happen to you? Where you used to be some type of way, and then you grew out of that way, and so now you've kind of forgotten how you used to be, so then you kind of forget to be grateful for the knowledge you've gained and the understanding to be to where you are now. If you used to, for example, some people, for whatever reason, most people on this planet fib a lot. Now, a fib, a little different than a lie, but a lie is a lie is a lie. A fib is a fib is a fib. A lot of people fib in life, and why people fib is another thing that we'll talk about at a later date. But right now, we're going to talk about fibbing in its own. If you were a young individual, a young girl, young boy who just lied a lot to your parents or to friends, right? You always wanted to seem like you were cooler than you were, like you had more than you did, whatever it may have been for you. If you lied a lot as a kid, and as you grew up, you noticed that there's more consequences to lying than when you were a child. Just like anything, there's more consequences to speaking than when we were a kid, right? When we become an adult. So more consequences to anything. But the consequences became greater and greater and greater, and you said, whoa, I got to take a step back here and really cut this out. Why did I just fib about that? Someone will ask you, what time did you wake up this morning? And your mind starts going crazy if you woke up, at 8 a.m. and, this person wakes up at 4 every day or something like that. And you're thinking, oh shit, should I say 8? Should I say 6? Should I say 3? Just say what time you woke up. Just say the time you woke up, right? It's your life, not theirs. So that's just one example. If you've noticed that you have, let's say, tailored off of something like that, or for another example for you, let's talk about the way that you drive or the way that people piss you off when you drive. Yeah? You ever get pissed when somebody cuts you off, or they stop abruptly, or they make a turn and they didn't turn on their blinker, right? Or they flip you off and you have no idea what you did, or you get honked at, somebody walked in front of your car, you got to stop real hard and be like, what the hell? Why'd you come in front of the car? You're a pedestrian. You're not supposed to walk in front of the street unless the sign says so. You ever had one of those instances? Well, I'm sure you've had plenty of them. Plenty. Now, over time, it's not just because of age. It's because of maturity. And you have to recognize this in order to give yourself the proper accolade. Okay, we're learning how to love ourselves here. We're learning how to love the self. Learn how to love the self. You have to learn how to love yourself. That's really sad, but it's the truth. And we have to start where we are. When you start to learn those things about you and the things that you have stopped doing and you see it, you say, damn, this person cut me off and didn't even faze me. Well, guess what? Someone could be 65 years old and that same person will cut them off in the same situation and they'll get pissed. They're older than you. They should be more mature than you. But as you just heard me say, it's not about the freaking maturity level. It's not about getting older and maturing out of something. What's up, Ricky? It's not about getting older and maturing out of something, okay? It's actually about growing. It has nothing to do with age. You'll see a 5-year-old who's the most spontaneous, creative person, and you'll match them up with a 15-year-old who's just as spontaneous and creative, but no more or no less. It's because it doesn't really matter. It's all about the maturity that you gain with opening and growing the actual self, not by aging and going through time. Yeah, time will teach you things, but time will never teach you how to let that go if somebody cuts you off or stops abruptly or doesn't put on their signal when they're making a right or left turn. But if you notice yourself growing out of that, if you notice yourself growing out of those things, that's because you're putting in some effort to do it. It may not be in that one thing. You may not be thinking, okay, every time I get in the car, I'm not going to get pissed, right? You just may be putting that aside for your kids. It could be, okay, every time little Billy comes to me, I know he's going to ask me about this one math question or this way to do math that I've told him 100 times, but let me pull away from myself, be patient for my child, and just be there. That is going to ripple into the rest of your life. Now, you will notice that it comes in other situations. Grocery store. You guys know I love my grocery store examples. If you're at the grocery store, someone in front of you's got a bunch of stuff, then the cashier wants to run and go get something for the person, then you're just like, man, this is the only line open, your mind's going wild, it's the only line open, I can't believe that I got stuck in this line. Had I just grabbed this thing a little bit quicker, I could have beat him to the darn line, right? If you practice in the grocery store to not get annoyed with it and to just let it go, it will ripple to your children. You see that? It's going to go into every piece of your life no matter where you start. So just start somewhere. Start with the one thing that you know that every day this happens, and every day I have to address it, and every day it bugs me the same way as it did the day before. You have to look at it, step back away from it. Just don't participate in the activity of getting upset. Does that make sense? Don't participate in the activity of getting upset, because being upset and being in an emotion is an activity that uses energy, that literally uses energy from within you to be put out into the world. So don't participate in the activity of getting upset. Let it go. How do you do that? You do that by watching your heartbeat, okay? By not participating in this two-way conversation in your mind. The conversation that's always telling you which way to go, which way you should have done it. Oh, that doesn't look right anymore, so let's change it. Don't participate in that stuff. Wipe it off. It's not you. You're the one who hears it and sees it and feels it. So everything that you hear, see, and feel can't be you if you hear, see, and feel it, correct? Okay. So now that we've gotten all those things out of the way, this is one way for you to learn how to address your accomplishments. You have become a greater being just by simply wanting to watch this entire video. Because now something in your head, okay, something you have absorbed is going to reflect into the rest of your life, and you've now become responsible for that reflection. Okay, so take responsibility of it and embrace that responsibility. It's yours for a reason. You're the only one who can change your life. Notice the good things that you do. Notice how well that you perform, how well that you are as a person, how well that you act toward people. Notice how well you treat yourself. Okay? And if it keeps getting better, you need to pat yourself on the back. Literally, rub yourself, hug yourself, love yourself, and just say, man, I'm so glad that I have taken the steps, just as much as you're proud of somebody else. You see someone else succeeding and you're a real person, you want to hug them and embrace them and say, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. All right, this is DSL and Makaiza, DirectSunLight. Makaiza, our sun is a little gloomy today, but she peeked out for me earlier. Peeked out way bright for me earlier, just like right through one of these little cloud things right here. It was just shining. But right now we're enjoying the moment. And I love each and every one of you. Thanks for watching DirectSunLight and Makaiza, the way that we walk the path toward the sun together, baby. Let's go.